Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Monday morning. And it's me, Mitch. Starting off the day with a lie, with a big lie. I put it in the chat. Welcome from sunny Melbourne. It's gloomy out there this morning, and it's going to get cold. It's going to get cold here in Florida, so we're going to need this coffee. So without any further ado, my friends, while we wait for the crowd to get here, let's all drink it if we got it. Grumpy old man. Well, I see people are starting to show up. Hope you all had a very, very, very nice weekend. They come and they go. And now it's Monday. And we start a new week. Another adventure. Another adventure. We'll see. We'll see how it goes this week. I had a nice live stream Saturday night. For some reason, the attendance was down, but in the final analysis, the thing got over 1,000 views, including the replays. So maybe the timing is off on that. And let me welcome people first this morning and give more people time to show up. I have some announcements to make, and I want people to hear them, actually. Michael Pregler, 7:30 last evening, said good evening, and Rick chimed in to say hi. Jem, see you in the morning. 4 a.m. Oh, wow. I said, you're a trooper, Jem. Let me get myself in the center of the picture here. There we go. Lady June from England, how you doing? Sandy Blythe, see you in the morning. Mike Silly, first thing this morning at 5 o'clock. Bob Black, how are you? Brian Dish was here. I chimed in at 6:55. Wow. Is Kelsey done yet? Nope, they're still going on over there. Okay, I think. Wait a minute. Let me get to the end of it. No, it appears that he's done. Okay, good deal. Thomas, how are you? Good to see you this morning, my friend. And 24 Pickles is here. I wish I could stay up tonight, Mitch. I'm so tired. Well, have a good night's sleep. Patty's Garden, good morning, Patty. How are you? Yeah, we got coffee. Let me have a little more coffee. Lewis, Kilts is over. I am here, he says. Hi, Lewis. How are you? That's the most current chat from 2 minutes ago. Well, let me see if I can get through this real quick so I don't get too far behind this morning. I'd like to keep up with the chat this morning. I'll tell you why when I make my announcements. Mike Silly Sr. this morning. How are you doing, Mike? How are you? And Annette is here, AP from Alberta, 4:34 a.m. here. Wow. Either we got a bunch of insomniacs here, or I'm flattered by the dedication. Richard, good morning to you from Copper Hill, Tennessee. Richard Williams. Wayne Herman from Lake Aston, how you doing? Rick chimed in this morning. Lucy Work chimed in this morning. And Mudbo and Larry chimed in this morning. CB is here. Hi, CB. How you doing? Good to see you. Good to see you. Lady June back this morning from England. Larry Ryan, sneaking up on 7. Loretta. Hiya, Loretta. How you doing? And Rick again. And Brenda McIntyre. Good morning. And don't let your meat loaf. Always sage advice, Loretta. Always sage advice. Jerry's here. Jerry in the middle of a forest, and Rick shooting for the bell, but not quite, man. Not quite. And the winner, as if I didn't somehow anticipate this, Robbie Autry. Good morning, Robbie. You got it down to a science. Followed immediately by Jerry. Brian Dish, Marla Kelly, hi Marla, Donna Ray, Bacon Runner, how you doing? Patty Bolden, and Lori's here this morning. Hi, Lori, got your internet back. Lori wrote me a few emails. She was without internet for days. I was wondering why we hadn't been seeing her, but good to see you here this morning, Lori. Brian is here. Be Matt, good. Wow, the voice is going already. Good morning, Brian. How are you? And Peter, Papa Carnivore, is in the house. Hiya, Peter. Hiya, Peter. Steve Rogers, Captain America from Kansas City, Missouri. How are you? How are you? Jerry Hall is here. Good morning, Jerry. And Barry Simon. Good morning, my friend. How are you? And here's Lewis. Kilts is over. I am here. Terry P is here. Good morning. And who else? Who else is here? Brian Airy. I don't recognize that name. Welcome. Welcome and good morning to you. Good morning. Hanging out with Jen. Hiya, Jen. How are you? Scott Evans is here. And that's it. That's the bottom of the chat. Brian, Terry P, are you following me? Wow. That's quiet. The chat is quiet this morning. I put my Buy Me a Coffee link up in the corner, guys. It's about time for me to start promoting myself again. Things are really getting slow here on YouTube. They're really getting slow. You see it across in our space. I see it across the view counts. I see it across the attendance at the live streams. I saw it on Kilts' live stream this morning. The attendance was way off. I hope it's not a trend, but I don't know if people are losing interest in this, if all the other problems in our lives are overshadowing, if we're just getting tired of chatting in live streams. Is that the only reason people come to live streams, basically? Are we all tired of just hearing another carnivore story? I don't know. I think a lot about it. I try to analyze it. But for those of us that are they call us influencers. I'm sure I'm not the only one that's scratching his head, going, what the hell is going on here? I've been trying to avoid the news. I understand from this morning. I didn't turn on the news, but I did peruse my YouTube feed, which seems to be where I get most of my news, from YouTube thumbnails, although I don't watch many, if any, of the actual YouTubes. And I know that the thumbnails are basically just clickbait and sensationalism, so they're not really news. But it seems that we may actually be putting an end to this government shutdown nonsense. I'm going to talk politics, but the politics are completely and totally out of control right now in this country. Our country is being run, with very few exceptions of smart people, being run by lunatics. Being run by lunatics, corrupt, self-serving, power-hungry idiots. Some of them well into senility, and it's time to just go home. I mean, if I'm considering going home myself because of my age and what's going on, if I'm considering, and you all know I've been considering major changes or going away, if I'm considering it and I'm not hurting anybody, people up there in Washington, shut the hell up. Go home, some of you. Stop ruining our country. Stop standing in the way of those few people that do know the answers, and you're blocking them at every turn. That's my political statement for this morning. Love me or hate me. Annette P. Super Chat. Thank you so much. Says, love you, Mitch. I love you all back. I love you all back. That's the reason I stay here. That's the reason I stay here. Yeah. Robbie said, maybe it's this crazy time, Mitch. Yes, it's nuts. It defies all logic and common sense, as does so much of the advice that so many people in our space just keep giving out every day, keep changing their mind, changing direction. Forgot what they said yesterday or 10 days ago. More new channels every day. Everybody's coming on, wants to tell their story and be a big YouTube star. Give advice. Answer questions. I don't even like to answer questions. That's the silly part of it. Sometimes I say I shouldn't be answering questions. How can anybody answer questions when nobody can agree on the answers? We're just giving opinions, and we certainly can't answer personal questions. Yet more and more Q&As, and people are getting their answers from Google, and Google is just a huge repository of propaganda. And I'm trying to escape from it. So I just keep watching reruns of old TV series, that every couple of years I start over. And now, believe it or not, I'm watching House MD. I'm sure many of you know. It's a fabulous show. One of my favorites. The characters are great. The humor is fabulous. The personality studies are great. The cinematography was great. It was a great show. It was a great show. We don't have shows like that anymore. Shows like Sopranos, Breaking Bad, The Wire, things like that. These were great series, and I can't watch the new stuff, so I just keep watching the old stuff. And interestingly enough, when you watch the old stuff, here's That's not wasn't what I wanted to show, but Lori stuck by another staying there. I wanted to show you this super chat from AP from Annette. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I try to stay up. Love that House series and all the ones you mentioned. Yes, those are series that somehow approach reality. And House is the things that I've noticed primarily is that medically, they really shot to be accurate about the names of drugs, about the diagnosis, about the medical things. They must have had some terrific consultants. But the one thing that's peppered the whole entire series that you hear mentioned at least once in every episode or twice is the diet propaganda is spouted as fact. And they come out in a medical diagnosis and they say things like, well, his cholesterol is high, so we can assume there's going to be some coronary blockages. And they just say that stuff like it's fact. And they do that everywhere. Every news anchor, every TV show. Everybody knows bacon and eggs will kill you, and you need to eat more fruit and vegetables. And you hear this not just from the medical community, but it has become integrated now and permanently a part of our culture. Permanently a part of our culture and our ideology, and falls into the category of, well, everybody knows. And it's so frustrating because nothing's changing. All this hoorah, all this make America healthy again, all this, we never got past red dye number 5 before they started selling drugs. And now the big news out of Washington is they've managed to get these companies to lower the cost of their weight loss drugs. Are weight loss drugs really the answer to solving our problem? Is that what we should be doing? More money to the drug companies? More illness and sickness? Because when people take drugs, they don't change their diet. They don't change their diet. Why would they? They're doing everything. They're being sold everything so that they don't have to give up the addictive foods. I'm beginning to feel like the lone voice in the wilderness, standing on a hill somewhere, shouting at the top of my lungs, it's carb addiction stupid. And I'm tired of saying it till I'm blue in the face. Not only doesn't anybody jump on the bandwagon or want to believe it, they're still looking for the quick fix out there. Tell me anything I can do because I can't give up the lifestyle of partying, drinking, eating crap. But I'm not an addict. And I'm getting very frustrated with that message and tired of it and tired of being a lone wolf screaming from a hill. The one thing that is the actual truth, the real problem, the real cause of the problem, the real reason we're so easily taken advantage of and led around like sheep. And the fact that most of us are so addicted that we don't want to hear that message, we stop looking for the magic fix. And we're following the Pied Piper. Right to disaster. And it's frustrating for me in that this is hard work that I do. I do it because I'm hoping I can help, and I'm helping a very few. Inconsequential. Not that you're not all great people, but it's tough. And I'm trying to concentrate on my own health, my own recovery, and yet keep up the YouTube stuff, not abandon my friends. But I've been flirting around this for months, I have to make changes. I'm not going away. I'm not going away. But I have to make changes. I have to tailor the YouTube activities more around my needs than some of your needs. So I'm not going to tell you what the changes are going to be. I'm going to make a video that I can edit very carefully, make sure that everybody understands. But there are going to be some changes, primarily in the scheduling of everything that I do, of the live streams, of the schedule that I put videos, changes to what's going to be my main focus, because the addiction focus isn't doing a thing, not changing any minds. Too many people, like always, are vested their channels, their incomes, especially among the bigger influencers. They don't want to rock the boat. They don't want to change things, and they're not going to. Nobody's going to jump on my bandwagon with me. And in that respect, since I'm a loner here on YouTube and I don't rely or don't want to rely on anybody else to influence my message, and since I'm sick and tired of compromising my core beliefs, and this was brought home to me in no uncertain terms when I reread my own book recently and realized that everything I'm saying now, I was saying 25 years ago. And I had already had it figured out at that time, with the only thing missing was the fact that I had to give up carbs completely. But everything in my book about reality and common sense and my views on politics, my views on religion, my views on everything are so firmly seated in who I am and my core makeup, my inability to be a shuckster, a huckster, a charlatan, to even lie. That's just who I am. I can't play the game anymore. I can't try to moderate my own core beliefs. You know, they say you need to go along to get along. I'm seeing what's happening to our whole society because so many people are going along. I can't go along anymore. And if people disagree with me, so be it. So be it. And I always fall back on I may be wrong. But so far, nothing in the direction of this country, in the direction of the health of the human race, in the direction of schemes, scams, phishing, evil, nothing is doing anything but getting worse, not getting better. The worst sides of humanity are coming to the surface. So far, nobody's proven me wrong, at least to myself. And I'm tired of I'm too old to fight this battle anymore. It's time for me to turn this battle over to the younger generation, and for me to just put myself back and my own interests and my own needs back at number one. I'm almost 79 years old. I just saw a video somebody put out that said, these are the changes that happen to you after you hit 80 and you can't do anything about it. Basically, is you're starting to die, and there's some truth to that. So however many years I got left, I don't want to be fighting battles. I want to be happy. I want to be entertaining. I want to be able to do what I need to do to keep getting and recovering from a stroke. So I'm going to put a video out maybe today or tomorrow, It's going to say, this is my new schedule of live streams. This is my new thrust of videos that I put out, that I need to start, not because I need money, but I need to start seeing that people appreciate what I do, and the only way I'll get that message is if people buy me a coffee now and then or use my Amazon links. And if that doesn't happen, then I'll get the message. And it won't bother anybody anymore. That simple. Other than that, I'm pretty happy, believe it or not. I'm happy because I decided I can't keep doing it the way I've been doing it. And being insulted every day by stupid people in comments in my effort to actually, not just be a bunch of noise, but somebody who has the intellect, the experience, and the knowledge to, when I do give advice, to be confident that it will help, because I follow it. And I always use myself as the example of how I do it. Lewis says, what's the announcement? I missed it. Yeah, of course you did, Lewis. Of course you did. My point exactly. Peter says, is Mitch going away, shutting his channel down? I'm confused. I didn't say that, Peter. You obviously aren't paying attention either. My point exactly. No, I'm not leaving. Lori, don't worry. I'm not leaving. I'm making changes. I'm making changes. Changes to the schedule. Changes to the balance between live streams and videos. And changes to the fact that if I can't make a few bucks at this, I'm just not going to bother. If I have to spend more trying to do good than I can earn, at least being on a fixed income like I am, and with prices going out of this world, the cost of food becoming ridiculous, the fact that I can't eat ribeyes anymore because I can't afford them, yes, I have to make changes. I have to make changes. So, the S111 question, are you making changes? I'm going to make changes, but I'm not going to talk about them here. I want to really think them out, to give myself the best shot that I can give of continuing to be here, because I enjoy being here. I enjoy being here. Rick says, Mitch has been saying he is making changes. You notice, absolutely, Rick. You notice that I've been playing with the times and days of the different things. I changed the time of my morning live stream, and then I cut it back to 3, and then I added an evening live stream. And every time I do that, I say, we're experimenting. We want to see what works, see what draws an audience. And if we keep seeing the numbers go down and down and down, if it's just me and everybody else's numbers are going up, that tells me something. If I see everybody's numbers going down, that's a systemic problem. Now, is it caused by our message, or is it caused by YouTube and their shenanigans and their changes every friggin' day with new rules and new nonsense designed to bring more and more people watching more and more hours on YouTube without regard to the quality of the content? Just how much flashy, noisy, shiny things can we bombard right into their brain and have them sitting there from morning to night, transfixed, hypnotized, but staying on the platform and seeing all the ever-increasing number of ads we cram in without actually paying to help. Not unless the help plays our game, and I don't play their game. So I'm not going away, but I hope whatever changes I make, they're going to probably inconvenience some of you, probably be the best thing in the world for some of you, but I can't stop. I have to stop considering what's best for you when I have to sacrifice my health. So the changes are coming. I wanted you to know that. And it's going to be a video, and it's going to say probably channel announcement, schedule changes. And either today or tomorrow. Or not. It may be later in the week. I don't know. When I finally figure it out. And one of the things that I was looking for was a little bit of feedback from this morning, not from you, not in terms of questions. Barry's always got the greatest ideas. How about tweaking buy me a coffee to buy me a ribeye? I'll even ship you. Oh, Barry, you're very generous, my man. Thank you. I can't expect people to send me ribeyes, but people have got to obviously know that to buy me a coffee money doesn't mean I have to take it and buy coffee with it. I would think most people would realize that it's a gesture. It's a nice thing. Let me buy you a cup of coffee. Doesn't mean that I think you need coffee. It's let me do something nice for you. It's what it means to me anyway. Maybe I got it wrong. I see John Beatty's here. Hiya, John Beatty. How are you? Who else did I say? Lori's here. Maybe the live streams have run their course. I sometimes think that, Lori. But if it was up to me and they were accomplishing what I wanted to accomplish in helping people, and enough people bought me a coffee every morning to make up for the lack of meager ad revenue that I get when I do live streams, because they never get a lot of views. And that's the trade-off. And it's not a lot of revenue. I don't need a lot of revenue, but I do need some, at least to cover the costs of this. I've said that many times. There's many ways I could get very rich on YouTube. I could change the whole course of my channel. I could start producing hundreds of these AI-generated videos on sensational topics without ever showing my face or anybody ever hearing my voice or knowing who's doing it. Get 50, 60, 100, $200,000, make $4,000 or $5,000 in advertising revenue for every video. Probably within a year have a $500,000 income from this. I know how to do it. I can do it. I choose not to. I don't like that trend. I think that trend is ruining the world. I watched a couple of videos this morning, and all the narrative on every one of these videos was AI generated. I didn't see anybody's face. These were AI generated videos with very compelling subject matter, and obviously AI getting hundreds of thousands of views without any human touch at all. Pulling all their video from stock video feeds, which AI can do. For a very small monthly license fee, you can license the use of millions of video clips. Especially when they talk about money, you always see the one where the guy's hands are dealing out $100 bills. There are 1,000 of those clips out there. It's all stock video. It's just propaganda being reassembled by a machine and fed directly into your brain, and where YouTube is now more than half of the content on YouTube comes from other than a human being, something that's programmed. And the problem we have is it's programmed with the conventional propaganda that everybody knows, and a few of us rebels here going against the tsunami, that stuff, which just keeps getting more and more. And as AI continues to take over at this alarming rapid pace, in a few years, we are going to be controlled by these machines and their programming. And we're supposed to assume that nobody will use that for nefarious purposes. Again, we've lost sight of reality. And I think it's too late to bring it back now. I think it's too much momentum. It's sad. It's sad. And I see it everywhere. And I see it in our community too. At any rate, all that being said, I can't do anything about it. I tried. So I'm not going to take it personally anymore. Not going to feel like I failed because the world has gone to hell. Brian Arias says, all the creators are having problems right now. I turn off AI videos. AI will be the death of us. I agree. I absolutely agree that if anybody gains any sanity somehow, but just like the food companies putting out garbage, you can't stop them. They control too much. They own too much. They pay for too much. Propaganda costs money, and they got the money. We don't have that kind of money. We can't even get a documentary to catch on. In our community, it's a big hurrah. We're going to save the world, put out this documentary, that documentary. None of these documentaries. I've seen 100 of them. None of them have ever made a dent. Influenced. DS111. Pretty soon Mitch will be on in 2 versions every day simultaneously. AI version and this one. Yeah, that's another thing. They can make these AI versions of you mimic your channel, and the viewer won't know whether they're watching the real one or the AI one. There's been I've seen 10 or 20 video of showing examples of that. Big time YouTube influencers have come on, and on the thumbnails are 2 pictures, the same, him and that. And the question is, which is the real one? Which is AI? And you better have a very practiced ear and eye to be able to tell the difference. What's going to happen to us when that type of technology, come the next big election, is used, like it isn't already being used, to make you think, for example, that Donald Trump isn't doing something that's socially unacceptable in our society and portrayed as a hidden camera or a hidden microphone, when a totally phony video of him. The BBC, if you haven't seen this, the head of the BBC in England just resigned. Imagine a guy who's making that kind of money just get up and quit, because it was uncovered that they pretty much did the equivalent of that in a video of Donald Trump that they showed on the BBC. It turns out it wasn't real. It was edited a certain way, or it was stuck a little AI in there and made it look like he was doing something that he wasn't doing. And they put that out, and people watch it on TV and talk about it. Next thing you know, we're done. You can't believe your eyes anymore. You can't believe your ears. The one measure of truth that we've had is that I've seen it with my own eyes. They take it away from us now. we're going to have to spend our entire life not trusting or believing anything, but most people aren't smart enough for that, as evidenced by this little election we just had, and how easily the party of scheming managed to win everything. After what we've just had in this country, after the fact that we finally gotten some semblance of reality back into our thinking, it only took a year for them to create enough havoc, block enough decent things that are happening, so that in 2 years we lose complete control again, and in 4 years they throw our borders open again and we completely lose our country. We're losing it city by city right now, and I'm watching this. And I see it for what it is. Am I an old fool who's senile because I can see what they're doing every day? I don't think so. This is not where I wanted to go this morning with this. I wanted to tell you, oh, hey, I'm making some changes in the channel, and I'm going to put out a video, and look what happens. Peter's glad he's not a moderator anymore. I like that. I need a job or a boyfriend. YouTube is my... That's Lori. This is funny. Until you target the central bankers, nothing. Well, there's always that, Rick. Everybody's always blame somebody. Half the people in this world are blaming the Jews. It's nobody at fault. It's not bankers. They're just doing their little part. They're just a little cog in this wheel of people being human. Being human, like every other animal, looks out for itself. Like the squirrel puts away his nuts for the winter, wants his own security, would probably kill another squirrel if it meant there was only enough nuts for one of them. Humans are like that, always will be like that. You have to understand human nature. You have to understand why that up until very recently in history was necessary for survival. Why we are the descendants of the killers and the thieves. We are. You have to understand evolution. You have to understand religion and where it came from. You have to accept it. And the brainwashed minds of most people will not accept reality. They bought into some other story. And how can they not have bought into it? They've been indoctrinated since the day they're born with this stuff. When any realistic look at anything other than reality, the law of the jungle, the survival instincts of the human animal, which accounts for greed and corruption, the whatever it takes for me to come out on top attitude that humans have. And our attempts to override these things under the guise of civilized behavior, which those of us that have bought into that have just made it that much easier to be ruled over and stolen from and taken advantage of. And if that isn't evidenced everywhere you look, wait till something really bad happens, like the food supply gets interrupted, and then find out what animals most human beings will revert to when they're and their family's survival. That's reality. That's fact. Do I want that? Hell no. I want us to be happy, kumbaya, civilized. Be kind to each other. Help each other. But when it's a choice between each other and ourselves, we're always going to pick ourselves. Altruism is a lofty goal, but it's not built into our genetics and our programming and the way animals operated. When I say we are the descendants of those people that looked out for themselves first, you can't dispute that. You can't dispute that, because the ones who didn't look out for themselves didn't survive. Their family trees was the end of the line. Only the people that won the gunfights had ancestors after them. The other ones, if they hadn't already reproduced, it was the end of the line for them. Their contribution to the genetic software that runs the human animal ended. An unbroken line that stretched back to the beginning of life itself just stopped right there. And until people understand the dynamics of evolution by natural selection, stop demonizing Darwin. Will continue to be used and abused by people who do understand it, and are using it to enrich themselves, make money, gain power, and become the alpha, the top dog. I personally have no desire for that, but I do have a desire for self-preservation. And if it ever became between me and the other guy, I'd fight like hell for me. And no matter how cruel people thought it might be. So I've been trying to teach that. I've talked about evolution. The answer to every ridiculous bit of human behavior that, based on the framework of what people say it's supposed to be like, doesn't seem to fit. It all fits. I can explain everything. I've been studying this for 50, 60 years. Real evidence and real thought on my part. And it frustrates me that I can't convince people, especially the really religious ones. So basically, I've tried to alienate myself from the really religious people. I tell them, I don't care what you think, please. If it brings you peace and happiness, great, good for you. It's just not, as I see it, reality, and I can't be politically correct anymore. Don't want to go there. Anyway, watch my little video. It's coming out. I'm changing the schedule, not going away. If I lose everybody that doesn't think that I'm not a lunatic, if there's a few people left, we'll take it from there and see what happens. But I'm not helping anybody, for example, that doesn't believe that the biggest problem we have right now is carbohydrate addiction. It's fostered on us. It's being perfected every day to make us more and more addictive. It forces us to buy the pallet loads of stuff at Sam's Club. The evidence of it is everywhere, because just go into a store, go into a hardware store. Well, how does carb addiction, what's that got to do with a hardware store? Well, go into Home Depot or Lowe's and look what they've got right at the checkout counter. What are they lined the checkout counter with? You got a couple of machines with sugary soft drinks. You got boxes of candy and all kinds of other crap in a hardware store. That shows you how addicted we are and how greedy we are, because we have an opportunity to make another little bit of profit off of these people in here because of their carb addiction. And it's in the office supply stores. It's everywhere. Go into a hospital, a gym. That's another thing I noticed in House MD. Right there in the doctor's lounge in the waiting room, they got a stack machine full of garbage. And at one point, House even said, or somebody said, there's nothing healthy in there. Why is the machine there? Why can't you? It's like putting slot machines out in Vegas to capitalize on people's gambling addiction. There's always somebody that's going to take advantage of the real problem that we all don't want to admit to ourselves. And the main reason we don't want to admit to ourselves is because we're addicts and we don't want to believe. Because that would mean we'd have to live without that crap. And that crap is our reason for living. And that has become our reason for living. And that's also evidenced and obvious to anybody who's ever tried to help their relatives or friends. They fight you tooth and nail. Are they that stupid? Can they not see the writing on the wall? That this sugar is killing you as they inject another shot of insulin into their ass? Am I the only one that sees the evidence everywhere I turn? It's obvious. I don't expect anybody to believe anything that isn't provable and obvious. This is not some wild harebrained theory. This is observation of the obvious. It's right in front of your face. Everywhere, every day, with everybody you know. And I've talked about addiction, and other influencers come out and say it isn't a real thing. It's bad enough when you got to fight the other side. It's bad enough when you got to fight the vegans and the vegetarians and the people that invent things like the sugar diet. It's supposed to ignore. How can you ignore that stuff? So I rant. And go to my grave. I'll go to my grave. Nobody will ever change my mind. And people try. My God, I try to be honorable and read people's comments because I feel like obligated to do that. You know, you took the time to watch my video. I should at least take the time to hear what you have to say. But please, 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 keep your comments down to 1 or 2 sentences. It's a comment, for God's sake, not a life story. Hours and hours of trying to skim through some of that stuff to be considerate of people that have taken the time to write it for some reason. And most of the time when they write these novellas, you've seen them if you've looked at the comments on these videos. They're so self-centered. They think anybody actually cares about reading 2 pages of shit that they do for themselves because they're proud of themselves and yay me. Nobody cares. Least of all me. Write a comment. I agree, Mitch. Thank you. I disagree, Mitch. Thank you. That might work for you. It is one sentence, please. Maybe an emoji or 2. It's not necessary to to be that verbose and take up that. I have to, that's another thing I have to fight with every day. Is I say, why do I read this drivel? I know it's important to you, but you can only do so much of it. When I get 500 comments on something, you got to put yourself in my place. I want to care about everybody. I can't take it, especially with the comments that are meant to hurt me and tell me how wrong I am and tell me what I need to do and tell me that I need to stop spreading this misinformation and I'm killing people and all that crap. I delete more comments now than I read. I hide more users than I value. The people out there in the world are misguided. They have no friggin' idea what's going on. They never open their eyes. They've adopted somebody else's attitude completely and I don't even know why. You know, they're the my mind's made up, don't confuse me with facts crowd. And I sit there, I might be in a perfectly good mood, very happy with things, beautiful day, sunny, came back from a little walk. And after 2 hours of sitting there going through that crap, I'm in the I quit mode. I can't take any more. I can't take any more of this. And I come out here on a live stream meant to help support you guys, give you hope that it can work, help you fight through all this other crap, and I end up just ranting about how tired of it I am. That's not doing anybody any good. It's not doing me any good other than venting a little bit. Somebody want me a coffee. Tanya. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much, Tanya. Jerry Voitish bought me a coffee. I can always count on you guys. It's the same people. It's the same people. Tanya bought me 5 coffees. Wow, wow, wow. Thank you, Tanya. Got my Mitch fix today. Thank you. I know some people think exactly like I do out there. Never hear this kind of stuff anywhere else. I ought to call this live stream, instead of morning coffee, I ought to call it morning reality check with Mitch. That's really what it is. And it's a shame that only 100 people or so, and most of those 100 people that hang in there with me are people that just enjoy hearing somebody that they agree with. And I don't hear anybody else talking like this on YouTube anywhere. They're all busy selling some harebrained thing that's going to be the big fix, the magic pill, the magic supplement. Even if they're not selling the product, they're selling the idea and they're doing it for clicks. Lori says, if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. Yeah, it's an interesting way to look at it, Lori. I agree. And this might be the only room that I can come to anymore, anywhere I go, where I'm not the smartest person in the room, and I don't want to be. That's the one thing. Yeah, AP says, hey, Mitch, morning reality with Mitch is a good idea. Yeah, I like that. Because that's what I'm about. That's what I try to do. You can tell by the passion, the energy I get talking about this. My whole demeanor, my speech gets better. It's what I really believe. I'm tired of constantly censoring myself, having to tread lightly and be careful not to offend somebody lest they want to hurt me, because that's a very real threat here on YouTube. People have had to change their names and move because of some of these lunatics. That's why I don't try to single out people and beat them down and cancel them like other YouTube influencers do. I don't do the reaction videos. I don't come out and demean people by name. The worst I say is I don't agree with somebody. And even that creates enemies. So it's possible, and I think about this all the time, that the safest thing for me to do in my old age is just to disappear. I don't want to disappear. I still have that stupid drive I've had all my life. And that is to fix things. Fix things. Minnick says, or maybe there's only one room of smart people are the elites. No, the elites aren't the smartest people. They're the biggest schemers and users and the worst example, I think, of the human animal and what we've evolved to. The elites that want a new world order. The hypocrites that fly to Davos in their Gulfstream 5s and have meetings and dinners where they eat the finest steaks and lobsters while they try to legislate for the rest of us an agenda that includes climate change, eat more plants, while they get richer and richer and run tech companies where they can, and media companies where they can control the message. These people are the true elites. They're the James Bond villains. The sickest people on the planet. Most deluded, egomaniacal, narcissistic, evil people. Certainly not the people I want to fill my room with. How about reality as a Mitch? Barry, yes. It's amazing how many similarities I can find with the name Mitch. Half the time, it's funny. Half the time when I'm doing voice typing on my cell phone, and I say Mitch, it types B asterisk asterisk. It won't type the word bitch, but evidently it thinks with my slight slurring of my speech that I said bitch. And then if I want to use that, I have to go back in and correct it. So sometimes the voice typing creates more work than it's worth. Morning myth busting. People aren't going to get that. People aren't interested in that. I love you guys. You guys are if I have a tribe, you guys are it. You guys are it. But over the years, I've managed to chase away most of the people I don't care to have in my circle and ended up with you guys. And the main reason that I keep doing this is you guys. So I'm going to make changes, and these changes are things I need to make for my life. But I think overall, it may be beneficial for most of you too. I'll give you a hint at what's coming. No more 7 a.m. live streams. Didn't work. Didn't work for me. The whole purpose was to be able to enjoy the morning sunlight. Turns out, the morning sunlight is nowhere to be seen at 7 a.m. And as the days get shorter, it's even worse. And since I have to get ready for this live stream, the sun doesn't start to come up, really, even though sunrise supposedly is at 6:30, any decent light from the sun or enjoyment of the outdoors is going to start right about the time that I go live. It's 7. So I'm going to move Morning Coffee with Mitch to 9 o'clock. 9 a.m. That will inconvenience some people. For the West Coast people, like or people up in Canada, they're probably jumping up and down and going, yay, I don't have to get up at 4 in the morning anymore. So that's the problem. Whatever's good for some always is bad for the others. But that's what I'm going to do. As far as the days of the week, I'll let you know in the video. But for me, this doesn't work at 7. I did it because I thought it would be nice to segue right from Kiltsy. I've kind of, not that I still don't admire and love the man, but his message is completely and 180 degrees opposite of my message. And that's just a fact. And I knew that going in when I first met him, and so did he. And I don't want to fight with him, but I'm not a member of that tribe, unfortunately. I tried very hard, but I just can't listen to it anymore. It's not what I believe. Doesn't mean he's wrong or evil. He's not. He's a great guy. I admire him. One of the finest human beings I ever met. And Nelson, I love him. I love them all. And Alia. But we are at the opposite ends of the spectrum on many key and important issues. And I just have to divorce myself from that. So I'm not going to be in the Zoom calls anymore, and I'm not going to be a guest on his channel, and he's probably not going to be a guest on my channel, and I don't watch it anymore. And it may sound rough, but I got to be true to myself, and we all need to be true to ourselves. So that's not going to be a factor for me anymore. Unless he goes long by 2 hours, I don't have to worry about it. I won't be stepping on his toes when I start my live stream, and I don't want to step on his toes. So when he goes as long as he wants. But 9 o'clock in the morning, that's when I'm going to start. There you go, Mitch. Authentic self. Thank you, Lori. Mitch, that's sad as kills you. Well, we're friends, but we're not. We've seen each other a couple of times in person. We've been very cordial, certainly. Care about each other. We talked on the phone a little. But it's sad. It's sad. He doesn't need me. He doesn't need me at all. He's hooked in with everybody in this community. I've never asked him for a thing. I've never asked him. I haven't asked him for, say, Ken Berry's phone number, which I don't know and I can't get because I don't know anybody's phone number, because I don't need anything from them. I don't want anything from them. I'm an independent. If there's political parties involved in our community, I'm the one guy with the I after his name. I know what I know. I know who I agree with, who I don't. I've learned things from some people because they've put some ideas in my head to explore, but I've explored them. I have my opinions are rock solid and unchangeable about everything at this point. And I have real reasons why I have those opinions. And I don't form opinions unless it becomes fact to me. So when I tell you that's my opinion, you better believe that I don't give opinions unless I'm certain. I don't make bets that there's a chance in hell I might lose. And I'm doing that now with my own life. betting on my convictions about diet and health and going against the medical community in everything that they recommend that caused all the problems that I had in the first place. So I don't act on it. I don't state opinions. And I still hold out. I may be wrong because I'm not that arrogant. I may have terrible problems with the wiring of my brain because I know enough about how the brain works to know that people are delusional and really do believe that the rabbit standing next to them is talking to them. And that's real for them. That schizophrenics do hear voices, real voices. I understand that that's all possible. I don't think I'm delusional, but I don't say I couldn't be because it would be real to me. Jerry says, I got to be me, Frank Sinatra. Well, it's true. It's true. And Jem says, Mitch, you and Kilt's just a different style. Absolutely. Absolutely. But different beliefs. Completely. Different beliefs. Completely. You got to know what those differences are if you've been watching either of us. Yes, Mitch lived alone and is very happy. Yeah, I live alone. A lot of us live alone. As a matter of fact, there have been many studies that have pretty well come to the conclusion that the smartest people in the world are much happier living alone. They don't need anybody with them 24/7. To define who they are. That's the story of my life. I've always been a loner. I'm happier and more content with myself and my own thoughts than trying to live with anybody. I can't do it. I don't need parties. I don't need company. I find any social interaction that I might need, I find it here on YouTube. But the nice thing about that is I can leave anytime I want. I'm not stuck with it. And I've done that a couple times. You've seen that in some of my live streams. I just get fed up and say, guys, see you tomorrow. Take the rest of the day off and click. I'm gone. By myself again. Sometimes it's the only place I have any real peace. I am not lonely at all. I'm the opposite of lonely. I'm uncomfortable around a lot of people. I like having visitors. Jerry Voitish came and visited me last week, and what a wonderful visit. Wonderful visit. But do I want Jerry living with me in my house? Hell no. I relish that about my life right now. Now, not many people are like that, but they say that the smartest people, the people with the greatest grasp of reality would rather, especially as we get older, are happier alone. I can only tell you that's true for me. That's true for me. Might not be true for you. Well, I managed to burn up an hour and 15 minutes this morning. Holy cow. So, just an announcement for this morning. I've been watching the chat. I've been down at the bottom of the chat. I didn't see any. I don't think anybody's asked me a question this morning, but maybe you did. Let me see. Question, are you making changes, says DS111? Yes, we know that. How about tweaking buy me a coffee to buy me a ribeye, said Barry. Yeah, that was a question. DS111, my fat boss put... I love that. I love that, my friend. He always told me, my fat boss bought a box of meat that arrived frozen. How long will it stay frozen during shipping, and how do they do it? Probably dry ice, I would imagine. They pack it in dry ice, and they might have some cardboard boxes that have an insulating character to them. I've never bought any had anything frozen delivered by UPS or anybody else, so I don't know. But that's that all these regenerative ranchers that sell beef over the internet, that all the YouTube influencers are affiliates for and advertise, they must have it down. Now, I do know that the last time, many years ago, I was in Seattle. And for a big knife show, actually. And on the way home, I'm at the airport, and I see a store where they're selling smoked salmon, which you don't normally see in an airport store, but in Seattle it makes sense. Up there in the Northwest, home of smoked salmon. And it was priced reasonably, as well it should be, because they got a lot of it up there. But you had to carry it home on the airplane. And they had it all wrapped up in packaging with a lot of dry ice in it. And it survived fine when I finally got home. Probably 6 or 7, maybe 8 hours later, because no, more than that. It was a 5-hour flight back to Florida, and then getting off the plane, getting your luggage, getting in the car, driving home. It was probably 8 or 9 hours, maybe 10. It was fine. It was still wasn't thawed at all. They had packaged up. Now, is that going to work if they ship it to you? It's going to take a day or two to get to you? I don't know. Has anybody had experience with the dry ice shipping and bought some of this beef from these particular companies? I don't know. Let's see. Any other questions? Is it possible to create a counter market? I don't know what you mean by that, Barry. And how about reality is a Mitch? I like that. Yes, am I making changes? So those are the questions that I see showing up there. So let's see, where are we? We're down at the bottom. Carnivore Forum. So on Wednesday morning, this is the big takeaway from all this. On Wednesday morning, 2 changes that might affect us in a couple of days. Wednesday morning coffee with Mitch, 9 a.m. Eastern. Again, I'm just going to see how that works out. That should give me time to do my morning routine first, to get out at sunrise. Now, unfortunately, it's going to be like the Arctic here on Wednesday morning. It's 70 degrees out there this morning, and that's the high of the day. It's the high of the day. It's downhill from here today. We got a cold front coming through. By tonight, it'll be in the 50s. Tomorrow morning, it will be in the 40s. The first time this season, which makes me hopeful that maybe hurricane season is now officially over and I can stop worrying about that for another 6 months. But Wednesday morning, I'm going out there. I'm going to try to take a walk early in the morning sun and get my walk in and get my sun in and start the live stream at 9. I think it's a better time for everybody. It brings in half the country that was in bed at 7 o'clock Eastern time. I think so many of you might appreciate that. Rick says, Mitch, hurricane season ended with the first Gulf front. Yeah. Other than that, that last storm that went off over Bermuda there, it's been, I think we can say it now, but I hate to even say it now. It's the first hurricane season since I've been over here on the west coast of Florida where we didn't have a storm that bullseyed us, and we had to watch. It was almost as if it didn't happen. We didn't even get close over here. So next year, we better watch out. And the best part about the fact that we didn't have a major storms affecting the United States is that it just pissed off the climate change crowd. Those friggin' people every year just root for destruction and disaster. So they can say, see, you see? They said people are inherently evil. Wow. Jerry Hall says, sounds good, Mitch. Had our first snowfall yesterday. Yeah, I hear that it's snowing. And now they're starting to talk about northeasters. And well, it is the middle of November after all. Hard to believe, but it is the middle of November after all. Question, Mitch. Do you believe in weather manipulation? Carnivore farm mom. No. No, I really don't believe that there's any evil James Bond satellite up there that's controlling the weather. I think we have some things we can do. We can seed rain clouds. Understanding the true power and forces of nature, and even as arrogant as we are and think we're that powerful, we do not have the ability to control the weather. And that's just another conspiracy theory that people put out there to blame some agenda of theirs, to help them support some agenda of theirs. It's mostly the anti-government people. I can understand that, but it's what we got. We do need the government. We just need a government full of people that just aren't out for themselves. I mean, you could go down the list of people that need to be gone. One of them, one of the worst that we've ever had, finally is going to be gone in a year. But the replacements are worse. So you can't celebrate it. And all I can say is I'm glad that I got to spend a good deal of time in New York City growing up, and saw New York at one of its heyday cycles between up and down. I visited New York many times when Rudy Giuliani was mayor, and New York got itself cleaned up. You could wander around Times Square at night, not worry about getting mugged. Every other marquee in Times Square wasn't a XXX strip club or something. It actually, not that there's anything wrong with that, but it got more sophisticated, and then it went to hell again. And now it's not only going to hell, it's going forever. It's going forever. We're going to have a little communist enclave where our biggest and most beautiful city used to be. That's sad. Careful what you vote for, people. Now, Minnick, why do you always challenge me with crap like that? Is the food pyramid still a conspiracy theory? What do you mean by that? We know where the food pyramid came from. It's a fact that it was a conspiracy theory. An absolute fact that people took over the government agencies and created the food pyramid to sell all the grain. The Department of Agriculture needed to get rid of the surpluses, and there's nothing in the food pyramid that even resembles anything that was decided on from a health standpoint. It was decided on pure money, ego, arrogance, and everything else of people like Ansel Keys and the crew. So no, that's not a conspiracy theory. Every conspiracy theory in my lifetime has turned out to be a conspiracy, except those things involving UFOs and aliens. Mitch, do you think statins cause dementia? I'm inclined, Carnivore Farm Mom, I'm inclined to think they contribute. And the reason I'm inclined to believe that, although we have no studies that prove anything, that's what people don't get through their heads. There are no studies that definitively prove anything these days. No studies. You can't cite a study without finding something wrong with it. I do not trust studies. I don't want to hear about studies. I can't show you studies that prove anything because there are no studies that prove anything, period. There's no studies that prove that cholesterol clogs your arteries. There's no studies that prove cholesterol doesn't clog your arteries. The sugar companies created the food pyramid, is what happened. Question, the food pyramid was a creation of sugar companies. Yes, it was. It was funded by the food companies. Harvard professors were bought off to phony the results of studies, saying that fat was the problem, not sugar. There was no fat lobby in Congress, only a sugar lobby. This is reality. This is history. Once you can prove something by observing it, it's not a theory anymore. So, do I think statins cause dementia? I think that the brain is made up of fat and cholesterol. I think that the human body does not produce anything it doesn't have a reason to produce. I don't think our programming is so stupid as to make a substance that would poison us or hurt us. That would have been selected out eons ago by evolution. That if a substance that our body produced killed us, that would be the end of that line of human beings. That programming would self-destruct because of natural selection. That's logic. That's reality. Our brains need cholesterol. Our brains need cholesterol that they make their own cholesterol and don't even rely on the liver. It's so important to the brains. It is the myelin sheath. It's the insulator that keeps the brain from shorting out. Your body makes the cholesterol it needs to do the job that cholesterol does, which is, and LDL is not cholesterol. LDL is a lipoprotein. It carries cholesterol. So right there, their thinking is wrong because they don't measure your cholesterol. The blood tests that you take that measure your cholesterol don't measure your cholesterol. They measure your lipoproteins. And then they assume that because there's a lipoprotein there, that it's full of cholesterol. That lipoprotein may not have any cholesterol in it. It might be carrying triglycerides because you need them for fuel. Your body makes these lipoproteins when they're needed. They're needed because they're like delivery trucks. And we need more delivery trucks during Christmas than we do on the off season, for example. There are times when you need more LDL. What time of day did you have your blood test? It can change drastically during the day. How many carbohydrates did you eat? Nick Norris just showed that just eating Oreos cut his cholesterol in third. His cholesterol, LDL, by a third. Is that healthy? So assuming, if you think logically, that the body doesn't manufacture anything to poison itself because it never would have made it to this point, over the hundreds of thousands of generations that preceded us, that when we do something to artificially lower or hinder the body's ability to create something that it's trying desperately to create, there are going to be some consequences. And if you keep driving down the amount of LDL that you have that's trying to carry cholesterol to the places in your brain that needs it for repair and rebuilding, you're going to create a brain that doesn't work like it's supposed to, whether you call that dementia or not. And I credit that for the reason that at my age, I'm sharper and have more mental clarity and ability to reason and think than I have ever in my life. And it keeps getting better. And if people want to claim that, oh, Mitch has got dementia, go right ahead. Or just don't try to debate me on something, because I will destroy somebody in a debate. Merciless in a debate. That's how I made so much money in business back when I could. Because I believe nothing but reality. And in the final analysis, provable reality always wins over fantasy nonsense and somebody's story. And since I don't want to hurt people's feelings, I leave the debating for somebody else, because I don't have that kind of an ego where I have to prove myself right. My attitude is, this is what I think. Take it or leave it. If you don't agree with me, I don't want to fight you. Just don't let the door hit you in the ass on the way out. So in that respect, I'm not egotistical at all. But I do know when I'm right. And I stand up for my beliefs. And sometimes I have to walk away from things that don't allow me to express my true beliefs without hurting somebody else's feeling, which is why I'm making these steps that I'm making now. So let's call it a morning. It's been an hour and a half. I've done all the talking, but then again, who else can talk? It's me and the microphone. Gemma says, I will debate you on Name That Tune. Gem. See, I'm that smart, Gem. I am that smart. Okay? I'm that smart to know when not to debate, which sometimes is the smartest thing you can do, is to know what you don't know and don't make a fool of yourself. I also have that ability. I can't debate sports either. So, Carnivore Farm Mom, I'm jealous. I wish my cholesterol was 400. My LDL was 350 my last test, and I thought that was just great. My doctors are having a bird. They still think that LDL is cholesterol, don't have any idea of lipid metabolism, how the immune system works, what cholesterol. They don't have any idea. They just know cholesterol. They're like Mr. Mackey. Cholesterol is bad. Cholesterol is bad. Okay. Okay. They hear a catchphrase, and it's reality to them. They drink the Kool-Aid. And I got news for you. There's no shortage of Kool-Aid in this world right now. So, like the song says, I got to be me. Like I always say, love it or leave it. It won't hurt my feelings if I'm not for you. If my message conflicts with your beliefs and you don't want to hear it, do what I do. Stop watching. I've had to do that to my friends, even, because I couldn't hear it anymore. So, you gotta have some core beliefs and convictions. 9 o'clock Wednesday morning, I'll be here. Tomorrow night, the evening live streams are now at 8 o'clock. I'll let you know in the little video I'm going to put out whether the private community live stream is going to move to 8 as well. I have reasons for that too, but 9 o'clock in the morning for the morning live streams, and I'll let you know what days they're going to be. And again, anything I come up with is let's try it this way for a while and see if it works out. And allows me to focus on the most important thing that has to be in my life right now, and that is my health and my stroke recovery. And it's a long, slow process, my friends. Very tiring and sometimes aggravating. So with that, after all that ranting and raving, we'll play a happy music, give you a chance to say goodbye. Just know I'm not going anywhere yet, but I'm making no commitments that it won't happen. But the reasons why it might happen are out of my control anyway. So who knows where this whole YouTube thing is going anywhere. They could outlaw carnivore just like they outlawed drones. Who the hell would ever think that they would outlaw drones? And there went my drone channel. And now they have done it. They have actually outlawed certain drones in this country. They did it. Stupid, misguided, agendized people have taken the drones away from the hobbyists in this country, made us feel like criminals. You never think this will happen. Things keep going like they're going. Don't be surprised if someday you find out that the animal rights people now control the Congress, and they have just outlawed the consumption of fresh meat. I used to think that was in some far dystopian future. Now I see it as possible after the next election. So good luck, folks. I will see you Tuesday night, live stream, 8 o'clock. Open to everybody. And then back here again Wednesday morning at 9 o'clock. And the rest of it, I'll put it out there so people know what to expect. And if that doesn't work, it's going to end up being, I'll see you when I see you. And just do it when the spirit moves me. And make every live stream a surprise. Take care. Take the rest of the day off. And thanks for sticking with me today. We'll see you tomorrow at 8 p.m. and eat meat.